So I swam across the lake and I had to do my walk around the lake in my Speedo and my gold chain. And I shredded my stuff because I was like, dang. And I was just like, whatever, I'm in my gold chain with my Speedo, bare chest, hairy out, whatever.
I'm Jasper Lior, and this is Gender Euphoria, the podcast where we break down what gender euphoria is and talk about the beautiful, wonderful, incredible parts of trans identity. I want to acknowledge that the trans experience is complex and diverse. This podcast is not a comprehensive representation of that experience. Each episode, I chat to a beautiful human about their beautiful gender. Today, I'm with Dakota Blankenship. Dakota is an artist, alien, and doggy daddy to his beautiful daughter, Alicia Fleas. Thank you so much for being here with me, Dakota.
I am so happy to be in your virtual presence and to talk about this with you.
I like to begin by asking my guests how they identify and what their pronouns are.
I would say I identify as non-binary, and I don't have a pronoun preference. You can refer to me whatever you kind of want to, as long as there's respect behind it. Whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever you want to. For me, it's kind of a fun game because it's just like a little bit of a reflection of their mindset and what they kind of feel and whatnot. And that's really what I'm interested in, is like kind of challenging those things to make people, not to tell them what to think, but just to make them think and be like, well, what are the other options I could use? I never really thought about gender euphoria until you brought the topic up to me. It's a really interesting thing. It's like being completely comfortable with who you are and what you're portraying to the world, how you're expressing who you are.
When we feel comfortable and confident to rock our expression, that is gender euphoria.
Yeah, to rock it, to own it, to not be ashamed, to be able to express it not just physically, but also to be able to talk about it in a very confident way. I'm like branching out and understanding what my own comfort with how I want to express myself. I'm learning some things I'm into and some things I don't want to do. And it's building up my own confidence and my own ability to be able to assert my persona in the world. Because really, gender is like your persona.
We're all born naked and the rest is gender.
Exactly. The rest is like the societal stuff that they push on us. And it's like, for me, non-binaryism is about dismantling the systems. Because I've been called gay since I was like a kid. I was just being a kid doing my thing and not even understanding what they were talking about. And so growing up and always feeling that pressure of what you're doing is not right, what you're doing is different from everyone else, puts a chip on your shoulder that you have to work through. And so gender euphoria is like looking at that chip and saying, hey, let's work on this and let's become more comfortable with how we actually want to express ourselves.
Yeah, and gender euphoria is how we heal from that trauma and how we say fuck you to those systems.
And living that lifestyle challenges people. And that's what I believe. I believe in a good role of my life is to challenge norms and to make people heal and change. And if that's because I'm wearing some short shorts that make them a little uncomfortable, then that's okay. I'll do that because my legs look nice. It's not like I'm forcing them to wear shorts. It's not like I'm forcing them to look at my legs. It's like, why are you so obsessed with what I'm doing when I'm just trying to have fun and live a good life? Like, why aren't you doing the same?
What does gender euphoria feel like to you?
It feels like roller skating to my favorite song on some really smooth pavement where every movement is just flowing into the next. It's like whatever it feels to you when you're in that flow, when you're in that moment where you're not worried about what you're doing, you're just being. And it's different for everyone. And for me, it's roller skating. When you're present with yourself and your body, like for me, physical activities is a way of getting present with my body. You start to learn who you actually are and be able to separate from those insecurities you've built up because of the gender societal expectations. You start to become comfortable with a little bit of person inside of you who's just natural, who is from the earth, who is from the energies. And that's where really the gender euphoria feeling comes from, is from like the energy that ties us all together. I went to this dark energy dance party. It was like a goth roller disco. The energy in that room was so wonderful because it was people in their community fully able to express themselves uninhibited, And it was so wonderful to be a part of. Like, I don't necessarily go to any other goth dance parties. I just wanted to go dress up and have a good time roller skating. And I had the best time. It was so nice to see all the smiling faces, to see people not afraid of what they were wearing. People were just being themselves and expressing their own gender euphoria, you know?
That sounds amazing.
It's really important to have those spaces where people are able to do that, because the world's not completely safe yet. You know?
Not even remotely safe,
no.
I would say.
I'm trying to stay optimistic still, but you're so right. It's not going to hell.
What's a moment of gender euphoria that stands out in your life?
It's always like something I kind of understood about myself, but it's never something that I've never like fleshed out and tried to get a good grasp of until now. So it's still very new, and I'm still very uncomfortable with it at times, honestly. Like, I still have a lot of my mom's voice in the back of my head telling me that short shorts don't look good on boys. Just yesterday, a car drove by, and on the corner of the street I was standing, and someone threw a limp wrist at me and laughed. Things like that do kind of impact when you are still on that journey of establishing a solid foundation. And that's where I'm at right now. So I can't say I have moments of that. I have glimpses of it where I'm like completely comfortable, but then I still always remember that no matter what, in any space, a queer person is always going to be looked down upon. And like understanding my new racial awakening and being in places where that's the hot topic, you know, I understand a lot of times that I'm still going to be very low when I challenge things. People are going to have a very short patience for that in a lot of situations. And so that's a hard thing that you have to overcome.
And just going back to, like, hearing what you're saying about not really feeling a specific instance, I definitely felt that way for many months, and even still, like, I'm just kind of coming out of it, feeling like I haven't experienced gender euphoria, and I don't really know what that is, and a really big reason that I wanted to talk to people about this is so that I could learn what it was and, like, try and manifest that for myself. And now that I have been thinking about it and living in this world, I do feel like I have moments of gender euphoria, and I can name that. And I look back on these past few months of coming out and learning all these new things and, like, being such a baby and being like, oh, that was a moment of gender euphoria that I didn't even realize because whatever, I wasn't thinking like that. A specific moment that stands out for me in my recent past is my name right now when people react positively to it, which so far everybody has. That really gives me gender euphoria. Like, I feel seen, and that feels so right for me.
You're validated.
Yeah.
And not validated like, oh, like, so disclosure kind of is that, like, off-putting validation that's like, we're going to acknowledge you're here, but we're not really not going to do anything about it. Whereas that is, like, uplifting for you as a person.
Yeah. And in that moment, that was, like, one of the first moments that I was like, these people probably know, maybe I'm giving them too much credit, but they probably know that this is a chosen name, and, like, I'm living my life as a not cis person, and, like, they're cool with that, and I'm cool with that, and I'm so proud to have a chosen name. Whereas before, it's like, oh, why did I have to be born with this name that I hate? And now it's like, I chose my name, and I feel amazing about that, and I'm so glad I got to pick it myself.
Yeah, that's awesome. Express yourself freely. Now that I'm hearing that, I will replay my morning when I was walking. So, like, I swam across the lake, and I had to do my walk around the lake in my Speedo and my gold chain. And I shredded my stuff because I was, like, walking barefoot with my little swim cap around this lake where people are, like, running with their kids in strollers, and just, like, old white folks, and then, like, young folks. And it's just like, I hope I'm not going to offend anyone, because I was wearing a very skimpy Speedo. And I got so many just, like, smiles, so many good mornings, and just, like, pleasant interactions with all these people. And it was just like every step I was taking, I was like, well, okay, no one's having a problem with this. It was just very confidence boosting.
I would get a lot of gender euphoria seeing that on my morning walk.
About duality, you know, it's not either or. We all have moments of gender dysphoria and gender euphoria. It's all about understanding and moving past and learning from them so that you can fully express yourself even deeper.
Is there something in your life that is really seeing your gender right now?
I've been making these rompers out of like old pants and shirts, and I've made myself 2 now. I wore one to that roller disco, and it was this bright blue cheetah spotted print and then black denim, and where the pockets were, there weren't any pockets, and it just went straight to my hip bone, and you could like reach into my, you could give a nice surprise. And I've made another one that's like pink and white stripes and stuff. Being able to make those clothes that make me feel like I'm expressing how I want to be, because like there's not a lot of stuff like that in the stores, and everything in the stores and mainstream is very, very binary. And here I am making these weird ass things by just splicing all this. Like the pink one is made from a men's shirt and a women's pair of pants. What? How much better of a mix can you get? How poetic, right? Clothing and style really impacts how people are able to navigate the world.
Those rompers sound amazing.
Give me your measurements and we'll do it.
Oh my god. What do you love about being non-binary?
I love causing a scene. There, I'll say it. I have a flair for the dramatics. And the fact that it is such a problematic thing for people to see me express myself in such a genuine, happy way. I like being able to challenge people and hopefully make them see a different way of thinking. I'm just going to keep doing my thing, and if that changes how people perceive the world and navigate it, then fuck yeah.
That's so beautiful. Gender boldly.
Gender boldly. A new frontier. That's why I'm an alien.
I also identify as an alien.
Let's get that box on the paperwork.
I will devote my entire life to being able to put alien on my driver's license.
I will support that endeavor, and we will wear little antennas in our pictures.
Oh my god, that's so cute. In our really stylish hand-altered clothing.
Exactly.
Well, thanks, Dakota.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Gender Euphoria is a queer videography podcast. Produced by Ilana Kapra. Music by Jasper Lior. Find show notes and photos to go with each episode on Instagram at Gender Euphoria Pod. If you or someone you know needs to talk to somebody about gender, visit thetrevorproject.org. If you or somebody you know wants to talk to me about gender on this podcast, email info@queervideography.com. Love yourself, listen to your body, and gender boldly. Apple trees and honeybees, the ocean breeze, a really good sneeze. There's gender queer and gender fuck, non-binary and ladies who tuck. There's trans man, thank you ma'am, the girls, the gays, the theys, going out for a swim in a sea of manta rays. We're all eating to poop and pooping to eat in whatever bathroom I take a seat. And we're all just humans, homos looking for love. We're all just humans, except the cats and aliens.